We're back in action on the Enticer. Oh my God, you can't believe how many people we get asking about this old beast. When are you gonna do the Enticer? We've been behind on a lot of things, but you know what? We're into it now, so that's all that counts. I'm gonna mount up the pogos. Now these are off a Skidoo Scandic. We're gonna put these in today. I've sort of mocked things up a little bit and I'll show you what I'm gonna do. Now these, pretty simple. We've drilled these holes out to exactly match these pogo mounts. Get through there. What's going on? So we got those. Drop this through. There we go. And these are the little steering cams. Not really sure what you call them. I'm going to call them steering cam. And I'm just going to line up my bolt hole. You can see it down here. That's where my ski is going to go. Oops. It's going to go right through there. And I'm going to place these mounts into here. Right here. So that more or less gives me a straight shot. So I can either come out the front. I'm not sure where the steering is going to go yet. I want to move it kind of post forward or rider forward style, if you will. And it's going to be hard to get it behind the engine. So at this point, I think we're going to go in front, and that's going to work out just perfectly. So you can see how this will just move in here, no problem. So those are my thoughts at this point, but things change. I do know that once that 540 is in here, everything gets really tight, and I want to sit up more forward on this sled. So we're going to tack these into place right now, put the front suspension in, and then we're going to try to get to the rear suspension today as well. I'm not promising anything because it's a little tricky to do this kind of stuff. It's kind of tight, and that's the way I wanted it, because it's easier to weld and keep in place. So I'm just going to go take a grinder, grind this off so I have a good welding surface. Same with that. We're going to tack it in. You know what? I'm going to do most of this. I'm going to weld as much as I can to this, to the frame. I've got these all ground down now. I'm going to align them. I'm going to tack them on the top, both sides. I'll do a little measurement kind of thing. I'll tack them down. I have to make sure I have enough room under here for my... Oh, those are threaded. Ooh, that's good. So maybe I can drop those down even further. Right about there. Saw that. So roughly right there. A little tack will do ya. And those should do, right? Now, and hold it, yep. Just a little gently, like. The other one here. There we go. Okay. Now, measure the tops of these. Different diameter. I can go down here. Come on over here, Simon. Oh, that one's really flipped out. Okay. I can see that. It kind of splayed right out like it. That's good for side hilling. We just created something new. PowerModz. That's exactly what happened. So when I plunged those hole saws through there, it must have been on a little angle. It's this eye. It's that eye thing. You know what? That's why we did this. Do one of these. that's kind of where I want it, right there. So I'm gonna redo this.
Right there.
Right like that?
Yeah, right there.
Okay. Well, that is good.
That's pretty straight too.
So this one, but this one here splits. Oh, you know what? That one's not that bad, right? Take a look from the front. Is it bowed out very much?
Not very much. It is a little bit, but not much.
I can live with it. I don't want to start, because every time I poke away at that, it's going to mess things up more, you know?
Yep.
So just watch yourself. I'm going to tack this in a little better. I don't have a mask here. It's at my house, so I have to get it over here. And just, if you look here, come over here, Simon. There's that shield right there. I'm just sort of poking the, what do you call this? I forget what you call it, the torch. I don't know, whatever it is. I sort of poke it in behind, I hide my face behind here, and I just give her a little brap. That's about it. Don't do this at home. You're not supposed to do this like me. Come here. I know that one's tighter. Bushing was bent. Let me see. I'm gonna blap it again here. Watch yourself, Simon. There we go. There. That's gonna hold them. So just a little bit of an update of where this whole thing is at. The track is in, the chain case is in with the cross shaft or the drive axle. That's all set up. So all we need to do is put that rear suspension in. Now these are done. That's awesome. I think what I'll do now, I'll set up the rest of these. We're gonna have to bang this out a little bit and make that fit. But I'll make it so all this stuff is in there, the springs and the shocks. And then we'll move to the back suspension. Okay. There. Now, put these bushings in. People ask why I'm using these instead of the Yamaha VK style or their pogo style. And it's basically because I have these. Get in there. So that's why I'm using them. Now, hope you do. Okay, that's there. Let me see. Yeah, those look good. Spring is tight. Tighter than the other one, it seems. There. Now once I get these kind of tacked down, we can move on to that rear suspension. Now this was on the 540 Elan, which is going to be a 174 827cc Elan. It's coming up. So we're gonna get this suspension out. It's gonna be tricky. It's gonna be tricky. I know it is. Might have to get Simon to help me a little bit. Okay. Whoa. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's looking good. Let me get a pair of skis. What do I have I can throw under there? Kind of gives it an idea of where it's gonna be. That's not too bad. The number one question I get is, how do you put a different suspension in a sled? How do you, mod it out? And this is how you do it. You just slap it in, you mount the front up, but you make sure everything's loosened off. So all your idlers, your rear idlers are loosened right off. You pull it back as far as you can. You know, you don't want too much of you don't want slop in here. You want to make sure that when your suspension collapses, you know, compresses, that your little wheels here are going to come in contact with your drivers. You know, this is all really actually pretty good. It looks pretty awesome the way this is set up. All I'm going to do is drill a hole here, drill one on the other side, the exact same distance. I'll measure up where the points are, slide the suspension, mount them in. Then I just need to make a rear suspension bracket. I think I might have one of those sitting around off a Rev or something. I'll look around for those. So let's get this hole drilled. I had Simon pull back on that suspension. We located, it was just perfect, just worked out. The stars are aligning for this build, everybody. There was a rivet hole here. I just drilled it out, so I didn't have to measure things up on either side. It's just going right in that rivet hole, and it's going to be a perfect setup. Very easy to do. That bolt gets through there. That's about. Perfect. Now, see if I can get that back there. Generally speaking, if you can get these first holes into place, or the front arm of your suspension into place, and then mount your back up, the rear idlers, when you take up the slack in there, it's going to pull everything nice and tight and give you enough track, I don't know, tightening ability, if you will. It's going to work out great. Just that way a little. Push it away from you. No, other way. Okay, hold on. Oh yeah, right there. I'm going to come back and I'll put wider washers on that, because there's a lot of force, a lot of pressure on those mounting points, especially on the front arm. This Timbersled suspension, I got this a long time ago. I'm not sure what it weighs in at, 36 or 39, 42 pounds, something like that. Come take a look at this. I found these old ZX chassis mounts. I cut them up into pieces and I used them on another sled. I think, geez, I don't know, my 700. I can't recall, but I found them and look at this. They fit perfectly.
The other one flipped.
Yeah, I know it went down. That's all good. That's going to give me a nice rake on the back. Oh, that looks good, everybody. Tidy this up. All I have left to do now, I'm going to mount these up into place and make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be, because, you know, right now the back of the suspension sort of moves a little bit too. Tighten that up. Motor goes in. Actually, I'll put the chain case in, then the motor. Then we have to rig up the steering. It's not going to be long. We're going to be running this thing. It's going to be awesome. I got to thank you guys for coming. If you like my videos, make sure you give me a big old thumbs up. Share on social media. I mean, what could be more awesome than this? This is what social media is all about. People want to see this beast, and it's not a 340. No way, man. It's going to be a 540. It's going to be a monster, all tuned up, ready to go. Thanks for watching, guys.
Break down.